What you're looking at isn't a press release. It's a leaked internal memo pulled from Aethelgard's server logs. It was never intended to be seen outside the company. The document records a trade that officially never happened, a private exchange, a deal where a father didn't just sell his company, he liquidated his own daughter. Inside the memo, she is described as unleadable. The solution is written in neutral language: reassignment, containment, optimization. In 2026 venture capital, family is not an asset. It's an unoptimized variable. On October 14th, Arthur Vance, the architect of the Aethelgard Empire, acted on that logic. Analysts would later call it a social liquidation. He didn't fire his daughter, Sarah. He didn't disinherit her. He chose something quieter and far more precise. During a live-streamed internal town hall, Arthur Vance addressed the company.
Thank you all for attending today's quarterly town hall. We have a lot to cover regarding the recent merger.
Thousands of employees were watching. So were investors. So was the board. He explained that Sarah's behavioral inconsistencies, her refusal to perform corporate obedience, had made her unleadable. His solution was already prepared. She would be assigned a mandatory strategic shadow. Enter Elias Thorne. To the outside world, Thorne was a brute, a disgraced former security chief with a record of alleged volatility. To the board, he was simpler than that. He was a leash. And as Sarah stood on that stage, under studio lights in front of her own company, the meaning became clear. This wasn't a professional correction, it was a psychological execution. In public, she was stripped of personhood, reclassified, from daughter to defect, from leader to problem, to be managed by a monster. Inside Aethelgard, the move was described as leadership optimization. Outside the building, it looked like something else entirely. A father ending a career in real time. To understand why this assignment was a death sentence, you have to understand the triangle. At the top sat Arthur Vance, a man who measured value in output and depreciation, including his own daughter. At his right hand was Julian Vane, the golden boy. Julian built his career translating Sarah's technical breakthroughs into investor language. She built the systems, he sold the story. Julian was the man Sarah was once expected to marry. Instead, he became the man who authored the Incompetency memo, the document that triggered her fall. Then there was Elias Thorne. Elias was socially dead. 2 years earlier, he had served as chief of security at Global Ledger. When he discovered the company was selling biometric data to offshore betting syndicates, he didn't go to the press, he went to the servers. That decision ended his career. He was framed for digital terrorism, blacklisted from every Tier 1 city, erased from legitimate infrastructure. By pairing the unleadable daughter with the blacklisted fixer, Arthur Vance wasn't forming a team. He was creating a vacuum. He expected friction, conflict, mutual destruction. The outcome was supposed to be simple. Sarah would collapse, Elias would absorb the blame, and Julian Vane would inherit the company. History offers a useful comparison. In 2018, Enron didn't fall because of one bad decision. It fell because of what it hid. Aethelgard followed the same pattern. The company's flagship AI, Vigilance, was marketed as predictive, self-correcting, neutral. In reality, it was architectural camouflage. The escalation began in week 3. Elias didn't try to manage Sarah. He didn't supervise her. He sat in her office, silent, watching the data move. A forensic review of communication logs from that period reveals a pattern. Every time Julian Vane requested a report on Sarah's mental state, Elias responded with a detailed AI-generated lie. While the board believed Sarah was unraveling, Elias was showing her something else, the system. He showed her the digital fingerprints, the traces Julian left behind. Julian wasn't waiting for Sarah to fail. He was engineering it, injecting noise into her code, altering parameters just enough to produce visible instability during board reviews. This wasn't personal conflict. It was procedural assassination. And Elias Thorne, the man hired to watch her, was the only one in the building trained to see it. By the end of the first month, something changed. The brute and the glitch stopped resisting each other. They started auditing upward. Late at night, they accessed Arthur Vance's private directory. The Sovereign folder. What they found reframed everything. Elias hadn't been hired for his skills. He had been hired for his legal status. Buried in Aethelgard's charter was a clause, the morality clause. If any heir associated professionally with a convicted Class A digital felon, their shares were automatically forfeited, transferred to the board. Arthur hadn't assigned Sarah protection, he had assigned her contamination, a legal biohazard. But when Sarah looked at Elias, she didn't see a threat. She saw a mirror. Elias opened one final file, a bank transfer, from Julian Vane to an anonymous escrow account. Amount $50 million. Memo line, liquidation complete. The question wasn't whether Sarah would survive. It was whether the company already hadn't. If Elias knew he was the weapon meant to destroy her, why did he just show her how to disarm him? And what did he see buried inside Aethelgard's foundation that made him realize the system was already dead?